Hey guys, it's Adrian. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm here to bring you a mid-month check-in because we're already halfway through January. Where's the time going? Can somebody please tell me and make it stop? First off, if you're new here, hello. I would love to know down below where you're from. Secondly, if you're new here, I do mid-month check-ins. This is an idea that I borrowed from G for Book Roast. I will leave her channel down below. I've been doing them for about a half a year now, I guess. I'll also leave a link to where you can find more of my mid-month check-ins. It's just a time where I can let you know where I'm at in my reading month and in my life and in other things. They're fun, I enjoy them. There are 7 check-in points, so let's get started. First up is currently reading. I am in the middle of 2 books, 1 audiobook and 1 physical book. The audiobook that I am in the middle of is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. I am almost done. I am about 70% in. The story is getting a little bit better. I will say though, I'm not a huge fan of this story. I don't really fit the audience that this book was written for, I think. I'm not really in high school. I can't appreciate high school parties and I'm old, people. I'm just old. So while this is an okay book, not my favorite, I'll continue on with the book. I will finish it, but hopefully something interesting happens because as of this point, I'm kind of lost interest. I'd rather just see the movie. Second book that I'm in the middle of is The Other Queen by Philippa Gregory. I am on a roll with my TBR this month. I'm just making my way through all my books. I am currently 145 pages in. This book is pretty interesting and also kind of not. It's a really funny mixture. It's, first of all, it's about Mary Queen of Scots in the time that she is held captive by Queen Elizabeth I. The reason that this book is kind of interesting and kind of not is because the beginning of the book, so far, I mean, I'm only 145 pages in, but I'd say the first 100 pages was very, like, inner monologue heavy. It's told from 3 different perspectives so far, from Bess and from George, who are the people who are taking care of Mary at the time, and Mary herself. And all these characters seem to go on, especially Bess, about the same thing, about her fortune that she's made and how prestigious she is, which I understand is very important to her because of the time period. But at a certain point, you can only repeat the same stuff over and over again until I lose interest. I also kind of have a love-hate relationship with Mary in this book. In a lot of other books that I've read about Mary, she's kind of a likable character. In this book so far, I don't really like her. She seems very full of herself, very sort of almost childlike and petulant. She's very full of herself, which makes sense because that's how queens had to be at the time, but she says that basically she is only a little lower than God, which seems a little heretical to me. And I get the Roman Catholic Church at the time, I get that queens were ordained by God, but at a certain point I just wanted to smack her. She just needs to shut up. But I will say that it is the time and I am enjoying it, even though it irritates me, if that makes any sense. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this book towards the end. I don't know if it's going to be fantastic. Obviously, I know how the story ends because I know the story of Mary, Queen of Scots. So it's not going to be a huge surprise, the ending, but I am hoping that I warm up to the book a little bit more because right now I'm kind of on the fence of whether I love it or I hate it. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Next up is most recently purchased. I've got a couple books that are coming up in a book haul soon, but they haven't all come in yet. So the most recently purchased book that I bought that has just arrived, in fact, this morning, is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I am very, very, very excited to read this dark fairy book. I have made the goal for myself to read some historical fictions this quarter, which you have not seen yet because you haven't seen my quarterly reading challenge, which will be coming soon. But one of my goals for my quarterly reading challenge is to read more historical fiction book. I was really excited to read historical books. I was totally in the mood for historical books. But then I got this book in the mail and it's just been calling out to me. You don't want to read books, Adrian, about dead queens, do you? You want to read books about cruel fairy. Yes, I do. Number 3 is most recently added to your Goodreads. If you are new here and you have not yet found me on Goodreads, you can find that in the description box below along with all my other social media stuff. But my most recently added book to my TBR on Goodreads was Invictus by Ryan Gordon. I feel like I've read a book by Ryan Gordon before. Have I? Let's check. Oh, I have! Yes! I have read by Ryan Gordon Wolf by Wolf, which I didn't actually like, so now I'm not so sure if I want to read Invictus. But anyway, Invictus is a time travel romance. That's all I really know about it. I still would like to read it, but now that I know that I didn't like Wolf by Wolf, I might do it on audiobook. Number 4, something good that happened since my last mid-month check-in. I got a puppy. I have introduced him to you guys already, I think in my top 10 books of 2017 video, because He was here at my feet. At the moment, he's downstairs sleeping, so we're all good. But he's a cutie pie. He sort of drives me nuts sometimes, as all puppies do, but he is definitely worth it, and we are all madly in love with him. But on a different note, I finally hit 300 subscribers. Thank you to Julie from Peaches and Pens, who did a shout out video of small booktubers that she enjoys, and I was one of them, and a lot of you come from there. So for any of you who came from Julie, thank you so much for joining my bookish community here. I am so glad to have you on board. And thank you, Julie, for the shout out. It really meant a lot to me, but I believe I told you that about 500 times. I'm telling you again, 501 times. I love you, Julie. Number 5, something I'm looking forward to between now and my next mid-month check-in, that would be my husband's birthday. Not because it's his birthday, oh well, yes, because it's his birthday, but because I have this tradition which started years ago when he started working at his company and they only had 7 programmers. My husband is computer programmer, for those of you who don't know, which is most of you. But anyway, before I go on, let's take time out and have a little story time. In the Netherlands, you have this tradition when it is your birthday, you bring your own birthday cake. That's just what you do. At school, at work, wherever. If it's your birthday, you celebrate it with everybody by bringing your own birthday cake. Me and my New England Americanness says, you can't do that. That's kind of rude. We're all taught as kids not to tell everybody it's your birthday because you're just looking for attention. Of course we all do it anyway, but anyway, my very first cross-cultural marriage argument with my husband was the fact that he wanted me to make him birthday cakes for his work, and I thought that was the most rude thing you could ever do. To me, and the way that I think the world works, you can't do something like that. So we had this sort of argument until he said, this is Dutch tradition, this is what we do here in the Netherlands, and light bulb went on. Oh, okay. So from that year, I started making my husband birthday cakes for his work. When he first started, there were only 7 people in his company. Now there are more than 100. So my birthday cake baking skills has had to go up a couple notches each year. And while it is a pain in the butt, I do enjoy it, and I enjoy the fact that I can help him celebrate his birthday with his colleagues. So this month I will be baking probably about 10 different pies and cakes and pastries and stuff for him to bring to his work. I look forward to it every year. I dread it every year, but I also look forward to it every year. Story time is now finished. Check-in point number 6, YouTube shoutouts. This one I'm really excited about. Like I had mentioned earlier, I have been in the mood for some historical fiction, and I've been following this YouTuber for a couple months now, but I got so excited this month when she started talking about historical fiction. The booktuber I'm talking about this time is Samantha Leighanne from Leighanne's Lit. I love her channel. She reads a whole bunch of different kinds of books, but I have gotten so many historical fiction recommendations from her in the past month or so that I am so excited to read. I love her channel. She just recently hit 500 subscribers, and she's doing a Q&A, so if you have not yet found her, I will leave her channel down in the description box below. You should go check it out and say hello to her and give her some support and love, because she has a fantastic channel. I love it, obviously, or I wouldn't be shouting her out right now, how would I? And lastly is a quote that inspired me in the last month, and I have one here for you from A Conjuring of Light by V. Schwab. Scars are not shameful, she said, not unless you let them be. The night straightened. If you do not wear your scars, they will wear you. I think that is so true, whether it be physical scars, emotional scars, psychological scars, whatever kind of scars you have. This is by no means a motivational video, but I do think it's true, and so I wanted to share that with you. You gotta kind of own the things that you've gone through in life and wear them, and don't let them take over your life. That's my preach for today. That wraps it up for this month's mid-month check-in. If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. If you have not yet, I would love for you to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.